know, in order to, I think in order to effectively rebut and actually like properly make an argument against something, you have to really understand what the point is that they're trying to make. Hi, I'm Vanadist. Welcome to Keyboard Warzone. In this video, I'm going to be playing the First Descendant and talking about abortion and some other random stuff. This was actually the first video that I recorded, so I didn't have a VTuber rig set up, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and I was super uncomfortable the whole time. But hopefully you can sit through the episode anyways, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Enjoy. That is... Well, I mean, I think the debate is whether or not... I don't think the debate is whether or not a child has a right to life. I think the debate is whether or not you should consider a fetus a child. Right?
It depends how far along it is.
Yeah, I mean, and like, of course, the right and the whole, like, pro-life, as they call themselves, movement, think that life begins at conception and all that stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't mean to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I mean to play. Okay, here are the concerns that I've heard from the people on the other side. This is why it makes sense, and this is why it doesn't make sense. You know, I think in order to effectively rebut and actually like properly make an argument against something, you have to really understand what the point is that they're trying to make. And oftentimes it gets overlooked because people that are pro-choice tend to just think of it in terms of simply like their own view, which is, oh well, it's my body, I should, you know, have control over it, and a clump of cells is not a living human, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't argue with somebody on the other side like that, because that's just not how they see it.
No. Here's the thing, right? For the people that think life starts at conception, have they? I'm assuming it for male specifically. Have they ever masturbated? Because if so, then they have, by their own logic, murdered.
No, because that's not conception. Conception happens after the sperm meets the egg.
But it's a living cell.
Also,
it's a living cell. It's the sperm that gives life to the egg.
You can't... Also, first, like, you can't bring that kind of stuff in there, because then you're talking about, like, the hypocrisy of, like, the moral right, and when it comes to stuff like pornography and masturbation and stuff like that, when actually being religious is considered a risk factor for sex addiction, pornography addiction, because of that.
I'm done, by the way. So is the other person, so you need to hurry up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I'm wrong with my viewpoint based on their own belief system.
Where are you?
Because at that point, you're just picking and choosing whether your own belief system works or not.
Right, sure. Now, but when it... oh, I made it out of that. Shocking.
Right. Because their argument is that the clump of cells in the woman's uterus, or whatever, is a living being and
but
has right to life.
The clump of cells, though, is the key, though. You know, like a single cell is not the same as a fertilized egg, and that, like, that's just a scientific fact, because a sperm can't undergo, you know, like a sperm can't replicate. It's not a living, like, it's not a self-sufficient organism in the sense of being able to actually, like,
I get that, but you're using science for that. They aren't using science, they're using religion.
Well, I am approaching
so
this
you can't approach it with science if you're going to use their own
They
their own way of thinking.
they try to justify it with that kind of science. That is what they do.
Again, it just goes back to the picking and choosing.
Sure, it is picking and choosing. But that's like literally like all of these arguments. Anytime you talk about any kind of a controversial argument, it's gonna be a matter of people picking and choosing.
In the end, I think abortion is fine. I do think there are some things about it that are misconstrued, or at least the way people come about it. I don't like the way it is.
What do you mean?
So, I fully support abortion and the woman's right to choose, but at the same time, if it's something that is not due to SA or any unwillingness, then I do think that it's not only the female's choice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. That is a whole other can of worms. And yeah,
if it's created by consensual relations, then I don't think it would be right for a woman to just arbitrarily decide without ever consulting the other partner.
It's
ultimately, yes, it's her choice, but at least give the courtesy of, a conversation about it.
Yeah, I think that's a much more nuanced debate. I think when you're talking about that, that's a much more honestly interesting discussion, because when you talk about somebody who is I didn't get the I didn't realize it was off the ledge, so I didn't see it. Fuck.
Sucks for you.
Yeah, it does.
I hit it because there was literally 2 seconds left.
Yeah,
so.
no. That was I didn't see it. And that wasn't an inventory thing. Like it was the little ticket things. It just fell off the ledge, so I couldn't see it. But
Are you ready?
you're talking about the biological and immediate birth of childbirth, of pregnancy, which is like a pretty big deal, I mean, that can cause not like totally irreversible, but that has a huge toll on the human body,
Right.
bringing a child to term. So there is definitely like a solid argument that it should be like that no woman should be forced to carry a child to
No.
term.
And I'm not saying like if one partner says no, then it's a no. I'm saying it's still ultimately the female's choice, but it should still be something worth conversing with the partner.
Well, of course it's worth
Not
conversing.
just-
That's
Not just going behind their
That's-
back and making a choice.
That's not a debate at all. Like, should you have a
To
conversation
some people
about
it
things?
is.
Whether or not there should be a conversation? Anybody who says there shouldn't be a conversation about something, that's not a reasonable opinion.
But we both
I
know
think.
someone who has made that argument that no conversation is needed. It's the woman's body and her choice, period. But again, it just comes down to people's beliefs.
Oh shit, I actually went down.
Like another example would be people that work in the medical profession but that
Can't be done
don't
already.
agree with vaccinations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is... Don't...
Let's go.
Holy shit. Yeah, don't... Because anti-vaxxing... Like, the anti-vax... That's not really a debate. That's
I mean,
just...
for some people it is.
No, because that's just wrong.
Right.
I have like the primary talking points of people that are anti-vaccination are just factually just wrong. Right? That's not a debate. A debate occurs when there's some kind of gray area, some kind of, you know, either something
You're
isn't
thinking
really
about it
known.
way too logically. A debate is anything that people disagree with
That's
and
not.
try to make a point out of.
I don't think that that's really a debate. I think that a debate requires.
I mean, technically, we're both debating on what a debate is.
Yeah. But this shouldn't really be a debate, because there is somewhere, like a dictionary definition of a debate, that there are gatekeepers of the English language, and they have decided what the meaning of debate is.
What is it? Because I'm saying a debate
I don't
is
know. I would pull up
two
Google
parties
and
disagreeing and
I think it
having a
requires
verbal discussion.
I think it requires more than that for something to be a debate.
Unfortunately, both of us are too focused on this game to be able to Google it.
That's
right
kind of
now.
the fun of. That's kind of part of the fun of like this idea for a channel.
Mhm.
Is that you're trying to balance focusing on a game while also like trying to have this kind of a discussion about things.
I feel
think
like I'm at a slight advantage then. Because
why?
we've seen that in the past where I'll go on a tangent about something and not pay any attention to the game and do better than everyone else. Anyway, circling back to the anti-vaxxers. Yes, we both agree that they're wrong,
Well,
but
it's
they don't believe they are.
I
And
think there needs to be if for something to be a proper debate, like you have to have at least some grounding in reality, right? I mean, when we're debating about things like abortion and like, you know, what counts as, you know, life and all that kind of stuff, like those are kind of gray areas because we don't really have a scientific definition for that kind of thing. You know, like we don't even understand how like cognition and shit like that works. So that's, you know, that's a legitimate debate, I think. And obviously, I have a stance as to which side is right on that debate. But you can have a debate about that because it's not
yes,
based on like you can't have like an objective truth. I mean, maybe someday we will have an objective truth. We'll figure out, you know, what the, you know, life is about or whatever. But we don't right now, right? So,
I mean, life is what you make of it.
Sure.
That's everyone's purpose in life is to do whatever they want,
Find
accomplish
your
what they
own.
want.
Yeah, find your own meaning of life. I mean, I agree. I've been saying that for a long time, but I mean, oops. I got distracted. What were we talking about again?
Anti-vaxxers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can really have like a like.
Anyway,
Which one
I
did this?
disagree. I think you can have a debate whether or not you have any evidence to support your claims.
I think that in order to have like a meaningful debate, anyways, because if you can just end a debate with, well, okay, here's reality. You know, I think that the purpose of a debate isn't just to change somebody else's mind, because that's not going to happen the vast majority of times. Like people don't change their minds very easily.
No.
You know, and I don't think that is really the purpose of a debate. I think the purpose of a debate is to try to get closer to a truth.
Well, I don't think so. I think the purpose of a debate is to push your narrative enough to where other people side with you or not. You're not trying to prove who's right or wrong. You're just trying to have people agree with your views.
I don't think that that a debate is necessarily serves the purpose of trying to convince other people of anything.
So I just looked up dictionary definition of a debate. A formal discussion on a particular topic in a public meeting or legislative assembly in which opposing arguments are put forward.
By that definition, then nothing is a debate unless it's public. And there's usually multiple definitions for words.
Let's see what the other ones are. Let me expand this.
It's awful for my build.
So, discussion, exchange of views, discourse, parley, argument, dispute, wrangle, altercation, war of words, bleh, arguing, argumentation, wrangling. Again, wrangle. When I think of wrangle, I'm thinking of herding cattle, sparring, disputation,
Don't
dissonance.
don't look at a thesaurus. Look at a definition, dictionary or an encyclopedia. Or some shit.
I mean, this is the Oxford Languages Dictionary.
You're here for modules, right?
Debate, plural noun debates, a formal discussion, blah blah blah. Verb, debate, third person present, debates, past tense, debated, past participle, debated. Anyway, that one gives a definition. Argue about a subject, especially in a formal manner. Consider a possible course of action in one's mind before reaching a decision. Here's Britannica dictionary. A discussion between people in which they express different opinions about something. A debate can be an organized event, an informal discussion between two or more people, or a general discussion that involves many people. And here's the Merriam-Webster definition. Discuss, argue, debate means to discourse about in order to reach conclusions or to convince.
Okay, so what I think the thing is, when I'm talking about what a debate is, I allow me to modify what I was saying. I think, and I did say this before, is that a meaningful debate. So, okay, yeah, sure, you could have a debate about something that is rooted in reality, or at least where one side is rooted in reality and the other side isn't. But it wouldn't be a meaningful debate. I think in order to have a meaningful debate, there either needs to be a lack of an objective, factual answer, or it needs to be something like it needs to be a discussion where both sides, neither side would be like in conflict with reality. That's what I think. That's if it's not like that, then there's no meaning to a debate.
Well, I mean, isn't that what politicians do all the time? We have a perfect example of Mr. Eats Cats and Dogs.
Yeah, that's not. we don't have the last presidential debate was not a meaningful debate. Because and the thing is, like, people make the both sides argument, and yeah, okay, it is true. Both sides do occasionally distort the truth.
Occasionally.
Frequently distort the truth. Now, the whether or not you're just straight up lying or distorting the truth, there is a difference, I think. But a lot of politics is trying to bend the facts to
It's trying to convince people.
It's about bending facts a lot of the time. You know, but the thing is, there's a difference between bending facts and then just completely ignoring them.
Or making them up.
Or making them up, exactly. Yeah.
Which
So
we have seen both sides do constantly.
you see it a lot more frequently on one side than the other. So, I think that the idea of like the both sides thing is like, okay, you know, there are things wrong with both sides, but now you're talking about like, you know, they're not equal. Just because, you know, neither side is perfect doesn't mean that they're equally imperfect or, you know, equally good or bad. Right? Like, that's just not. And I saw people making that I got in an argument with somebody in Discord back with the whole COVID vaccine thing. About somebody who was like, oh, well, the vaccine's only 99% effective. Like, if it's not 100%, then it doesn't work. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I could not, like, get this guy to, like, you know, he just kept saying, like, just saying, oh, well, you know, if it's not 100%, then it doesn't work. So there's no point in taking it. And I'm like, what the like, how does that make any sense to you? Like,
I was gonna say, it's like the people that were arguing about the masks.
Yeah,
saying that
yeah.
because water goes through it, they're not 100%.
Yeah,
like do you want to breathe?
Like, do you...
I saw one analogy someone made in like a comic strip that I loved because it was, in my opinion, a perfect explanation. It shows two people butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
It's two guys, and it's like one of them starts pissing on the other one. He says that's the equivalent of sneezing. Now, you put on the mask, I'll stay naked and keep pissing on you. You're getting wet, still, yes. But, not directly anymore. Now both of them wear pants and he's still pissing. Now only he's getting wet.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, that is a pretty good analogy. Alright, that was the First Descendant episode 1. I'm sure I pissed off a lot of people with some of the stuff that I said. I kind of, like, pissed myself off with some of the stuff that I said when I was going through and rewatching it. So if you have anything you'd like to add, then leave it in the comments below. I don't know how frequently I'm going to be uploading videos, so if you'd like to stay on top of when the next one is, then leave me a sub, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.